Ladies and most gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about Warfronts. More specifically, I'm going to be showing you some early assets that have been added to the game already in the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. Full disclosure, this discovery was not made by me, it was actually PM'd to me by a Twitter user known as Krillin, so thank you so much for finding this and sending it over. So if you don't know, Warfronts are a large-scale PvE game mode which is coming to the game in Battle for Azeroth. Not too much is known about it at this time, but I think we get some big clues of some of the things that we've uncovered on the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. So the best way to show you guys this discovery is really just to live record some exploration on the Alpha in the Arathi Highlands. So without further ado, let's jump in game and I'll show you what's been uncovered so far. Okay, so we are on the Alpha right now, and this is the Arathi Highlands. So you can see there is a big airship here for the Horde. There isn't currently one for the Alliance, but I have a pretty good theory on why that is. So as you can see, there's a building down there, and there's also a Stromguard over there. So if you actually get onto the airship, an interface comes up at the top here. So on a Horde, you also do get your own interface as well. I'll slot that in right about now, so you can see the Horde one in comparison to the Alliance. Pretty similar, just a bit of a kind of Horde aesthetic. So kind of similar to Warcraft 3 if you ever played a bit of Warcraft 3. So let's go over these resources at the top here. So you've got iron. This is gathered by peons when a mine is captured, used to construct the buildings and troops, similar to Warcraft 3. Wood, you got gathered from piles of wood throughout the Warfront, used in the construction of buildings and troops, again. And Essence of Storms, an extremely rare, found while killing enemies in Warfronts, used to unleash the powerful abilities of the Altar of Storms. So there's only one of those, so that'll be kind of interesting. Possibly a game changer during the Warfront battle. As I said, there's not really too much we know specifically about the gameplay of Warfronts. You know, they said it's like an RTS style. It's got like roots in RTS, but we're still not 100% on what it was all about. And this last one here looks like food, obviously. And there's nothing to say, but I think that'll probably be something to do with upkeep of troops in Warcraft 3. So from here we can't actually mount. The map actually goes away. My theory on what all this is phasing issues. So I believe once the Battle for Lordaeron is done, the map changes for you. So I think at the moment there's confirmed Warfronts in Arathi Highlands, the Barrens, and potentially Feralus. I think there might be one there. So once a character's completed the Battle for Lordaeron scenario, the overworld for them will change. So Arathi Highlands will change, the Barrens will change, and potentially Feralus will change. And, you know, as they add more Warfronts and things like that, the overworld will change for a level 110 plus player that's completed the Battle for Lordaeron scenario. So I think this is actually due to a phasing issue. Because if you look at the world, so let's head down. We can't actually mount from here, so we'll have to do some major trickery. So if you actually head down from this, you can see there's some fires, just kind of floating around, doing not a lot. It's interesting as well. There was actually a data mine map found on MMO Champion and Wowhead. So if I actually put the normal map against this map, so if you look at the map carefully, the map they've created is for the Horde doing a Warfront against the Alliance in Stromguard Keep, because you can see like there's kind of like a red barrier around the thing. I'm not sure if you're an Alliance. When you do it, if you're an Alliance in a Warfront in Arathi, you'll start in Stromguard and attack the Horde in the Northfold Manor. I'm not really sure, but this could potentially be just the Horde version of it, and then maybe the Alliance have a different version of this area once it's all phased. So I have a feeling this is where the big keep's going to be, if you can tell from like the size of the big circle. If you head over here, there's not a lot around this part, but obviously you've got this little gate looking thing here, which is pretty cool, floating slightly above the ground, so I think there will be some terrain additions as well. You can actually go in here and kind of look around. I'm not sure if this is a reused asset. Let me know in the comments if you do recognize this from anything. Potentially something Warlords of Draenor related. Kind of has that kind of aesthetic. There's also a few little bits over here. Nothing substantial. It's actually a bit weird, and I'm not really sure why it exists. But if you look over here, there are some floating chairs. Yeah, so you have some floating chairs and a little wooden bench. This is obviously some sort of building, two-layered building. So I'm not really too sure on that. I don't want to try and sit on those, but there we go. We can sit on that. So, anywho, moving on to the Stromguard Keep. That's where the action's happening. Obviously, if you've seen the Battle for Azeroth trailer, you obviously see the changes to Stromgarde. It's going to be pretty big. Turn it into like a normal city again, not just some ruins. And there's only a very minor change, and you can probably see it already. It is just on the gate here. It's got that new high-res looking gate with the new fire and stuff like that. It looks pretty damn cool, honestly, if we compare it to the original one now. So you can see the old one here, kind of a bit tattered. Still, you know, if you go back to the new one, it's still got the assets of, like, the doors are kind of clipped through the actual thing here. As I said, I believe this is a phasing issue. So I think, you know, I think the world will change around you once the Battle for Lordaeron is done, sorry. And then you'll be able to come in here. I believe Warfronts will probably, or definitely, take place on a different map ID, so it won't be an overworld thing, so you can't, I don't think you'll be able to just wander into Arathi Highlands and join the Warfronts. I believe it'll be similar to, sort of like a battleground where you queue for it and then you get teleported into a new map. But I think the results of the Warfront will affect the overworld. I think Taliesin actually mentioned that in a video where, you know, potentially you could have the Alliance could own Stromgarde for a certain amount of time, and then maybe the Horde could take it and they kind of take over and stuff like that. But I know Warfronts won't be all the time either, so it won't be like a battleground. It'll be kind of similar to like the Mage Tower stuff, where it's only up for a specific amount of time. But yeah. I do honestly think that we'll be getting Warfronts onto the alpha very soon indeed. Something like this is going to need a ton of testing and balancing. There are so many assets in the game files right now that are related to Warfronts, including these really cool looking icons that go on top of the new maps. I for one am very excited for the idea of them, and I really hope they're good. As a pretty casual but big fan of Warcraft 3, I have high hopes for this new game mode. So let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this new UI and whether you're excited for Warfronts as well. I'd love to know what you guys think. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons and YouTube sponsors. You guys are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel in that way, links are down below. So leave a like on this video if you liked it, guys, and subscribe if you haven't. I also have a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members. Link is down below. And with that, I'll see you next time.